So let's take a trip back to 2011 and have a bit of a glimpse into the mental illness that action figures can cause myself, Junkie Dave. It's mad looking back at this 9 years later and trying to justify why the madness set in, because this movie, Dark of the Moon, is okay. But I think compared to where the live action movies eventually took us, i.e. Bumblebee, Dark of the Moon and all of them just aren't anywhere near as good. I think the first movie, the 2007 one, and Dark of the Moon still stand up. Revenge of the Fallen has the odd cool bit in it. The other 2, 3, 65, however many they did, are all just a bit yak. But regardless of that, I was banging into these movies as they were coming out. If I'm honest, the 2007 movie got me back into Transformers. So I'd never be fully prepared to knock these films because I got a lot out of them. Fair enough, maybe not the actual movies themselves, but just, going forward. Friends that I met, toys that I've got, blah, blah, blah. So with the movies came the toy lines. And what genuinely feels like a solid 9 years, with the odd little break, I have wanted a matching set of Dark of the Moon wreckers. And it's, again, going back to how poor these movies can be, the wreckers don't have any sort of character. They don't make any sense. They're NASCAR drivers with bizarre Cockney Scottish accents. I mean, in what universe does that work? I'm shaking my head. You can't see me because this is just a narration, but I'm shaking my head. But putting all that to one side, I wanted a matching set of the 3 wreckers, and the toy line was massive, and we didn't get that. We didn't get it at all. Let's look at the most basic version of a Transformers figure, and that is a mainline deluxe. We got a weaponized top spin, which is spot on. We kinda got a weaponized Leadfoot, although he was a Japan exclusive, and that in itself was never found by myself. But Roadbuster was not weaponized. Therefore, a set of 3 that wasn't a set of 3. 2 weaponized and 1 not. So then I was thinking, maybe I can get them in the smaller scale, the Legend scale. We got a weaponized Leadfoot, all good. We got a lovely weaponized Roadbuster. He looked really, really cool. And then Top Spin was not weaponized. Yet again, another set of 3 that was not a set of 3. More tears for Dave. Now, these are the ones that I loved the most. The Human Alliance. We got an amazing Roadbuster. He looks the business, all weaponized up, lovely jubbly. And then we got Leadfoot, who wasn't weaponized up. But worse than that, Top Spin didn't even get a figure. There was no Human Alliance Top Spin. So a set of 2 out of the 3. Where was Human Alliance Top Spin? And that wasn't the only set that was missing. Figures. We had Speed Stars, where there was only a Leadfoot. We had Stealth Force, where there was a Top Spin. And there was a classic Leadfoot, so not even the NASCAR Leadfoot. And we had Robot Force Activators, I think they were called, where they only got a top spin. And he wasn't weaponized either. So, what were Hasbro doing, and why were Hasbro doing this to me, is what I honestly felt like back in the day. And there was a point where I bought a second Human Alliance Roadbuster and attempted to customize it into a top spin. It didn't go well. I'm not going to go into this. There's no hard feelings whatsoever towards the guy who stepped in to help, even though he didn't help. But yeah, for the longest time, I ended up with no matching set of 3 Dark of the Moon wreckers. Leadfoot, Top Spin, Roadbuster. The set didn't exist. And it's hard for me to put into words just how much I obsessed and stressed and worried and just wound myself up into a crazy little ball over the fact that I didn't have these 3 figures in a matching set. Those alt modes, it's so badass. It's like a modern day Mad Max, all weaponized up and looking just crazy. And that's what I wanted. And my display for the longest time, I kind of wanted Human Alliance Roadbuster and Leadfoot with maybe I was praying that somebody would do a KO oversized top spin, or I was hoping. I just put so much mad mental thought and effort into wanting these 3 cars that transformed into, let's face it, pretty ugly looking robots that made no sense because they had accents that didn't fit their origin. But I don't know, for the longest time, it really just broke me. And then Studio Series happened, and I was genuinely at the stage in my life where I'd already spent £135,000 million on movie figures, which is only about £16-17 short of what rich sort writers spent on movie figures. So I saw Studio Series and I was like, these figures are really good, but they were 10 years too late. And like, I just didn't want anything to do with them. Couldn't be bothered with them. And even though that matching set of 3 wreckers was like so close, there was even a third party guy who did them as well. It just almost felt like I didn't want anything to do with them, and I wanted the mental self-punishment to continue because I wanted those 3 Human Alliance ones. And that is crazy, absolutely crazy. And then after months and months of deliberating about whether I wanted them or not, and chewing Luffy's ear in a text message way, of course, because yeah, I gave in. I put them on my Christmas wish list, and Santa Claus fixed the crazy, because now I have the 3 Studio Series Deluxe figures. I've got the lineup that I wanted back in 2011. It's took me 9 years to get there, and I am buzzing with it. Absolutely buzzing. Like, the movie is irrelevant at this point. This is more about like defeating demons, like, stupid demons that become like that take root in action figures. It's kind of pitiful for an adult to feel that way, but that is me, sadly. And looking at these 3 together, oh yes, what an achievement, Dave. Congratulations, you've bought 3 toys. On an interesting side note, when I was researching this video, I did find out that you could buy 3 bot shots that were all armoured, but bot shots don't count.